All right, welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. How we doing, guys?
Good. It's today's the vernal equinox, right? Is it officially spring?
It is.
Spring has sprung.
That's what Carol
starting with your happy ending already? Jesus, man.
I'm not happy. I hate spring.
How about you, Gene? Back in Ohio, are we?
I told you how I felt like 5 minutes ago during our production meeting. I told you I feel like Tracy Morgan. I'm ready to fucking throw up from a Nathan's hot dog. I do not feel good today.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Nobody likes the unwell stomach. It's not pleasant.
It's the worst.
50-year-olds should not eat hot dogs. That's as simple as that. I just wanted some meats today. I got home.
Healthy meat.
Yeah, I ate a steak for breakfast.
What?
And I had 2 hot dogs for dessert, and now I feel like I'm going to throw up. What the fuck are you laughing about?
2 hot dogs for dessert after eating steak. What the heck?
I told you, man.
You got the meat sweats.
I did get the meat sweats. I was standing outside in 50-mile-per-hour winds for a bit, and
Oh my God.
We had those yesterday.
it was 72 degrees in the house, and I was like, it's just too darn hot in here, and there's a fan next to me in case I started getting woozy, and I don't know, man. I feel like shit. I'm pretty sure it was the hot dogs. I would guess a mistake, but they were super salty. I said to Melissa, man, that's the saltiest thing I think I've ever eaten. And then I started sweating afterwards.
Oh.
I kind of feel like shit. My heart hurts a little bit. My fucking vision is blurry. And, it was a long drive home yesterday. And I almost ran out of electricity in my Tesla.
The Tesla.
I missed my exit. And and I was in bumfuck Ohio, and there wasn't another Tesla charging station for like 50, 60 miles, and I only had 30 miles of juice left, so I had to make a decision to either illegally try to U-turn and get back to that exit, which I couldn't do because traffic. It was rush hour. It was like 5 o'clock. There was too much traffic, so I had to drive like Bill, like a boomer, at 50 miles an hour on the highway and keep the fucking. It was driving super slow. It took me about 25, 30 minutes to get to the next exit, and I had to turn around and backtrack to the charging station I missed.
How much energy was left?
1%.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but the Tesla does tell you stay under 61 miles per hour to have 1% because you don't want to brick it. I mean, you don't want to flatline it. Then you end up towing it. And
oh my gosh.
Who knows if you can even get it back online? Because I know they were having trouble with early EVs. If you brick them, they become paperweights. You can't.
Shit.
I have no idea if they're up to that tech. I've had this car for 5 years before Elon lost his mind, and that is the first time ever that I literally ever missed an exit. I mean, I was just singing Britney Spears at the top of my lungs and right past that shit.
Doesn't the Tesla tell you?
Yeah,
exit approaching.
Yeah, it's on my navigation.
Exit now.
I don't think it has voice like get off now or anything. And I don't have full self auto drive or anything. So
probably for the best.
I was in cruise control and I was singing my Britney Spears and I was dancing along and drinking my coffee. When I looked up, I saw 0.2 miles to exit, but I was literally passing the exit. And I was like, shit. And then I knew I was in trouble and I texted Melissa right away, and I was like, Melissa, I might brick this Tesla. I missed my exit, and there's not another charging station for miles and miles. I'm like, I'll keep you informed. And then that's when I just slowed.
I mean, you just had the car towed, for God's sake.
Pain, man. It's a pain. I just wanted to get home. I was so tired. We barely got any sleep. My brother snores like a chainsaw. And, we were in the middle of the city and we had the curtains open and it was just night. It was bright at night and it was hard to sleep. And I don't know, just lots of adrenaline. You burn through a lot of adrenaline, almost killing someone and pointing a gun at the door. And then
how'd that go again?
And then you run out of energy at some point. I'm completely like I'm on.
Oh yeah,
dude, I promise you, I'm on.
Well, the weekend's coming up. You'll be fine.
Well, I don't have a freaking job, but that doesn't matter. I'm tired. Anyway,
get your rest.
I'm glad to be home, and I went through my meats, and now I'm going through some stuff, and now I'm trying to hydrate. And I've been drinking like tons of water since last night, and my pee's super, super yellow right now.
Ooh,
I can't hydrate.
super dehydrated.
Oh wow, you must be. Yeah.
And, when I woke up this morning, I could barely walk. My knees, my ankles, everything's swollen, like because of all the walking I
Well,
did.
you were walking for 2 days straight. You were like
I'm so messed up this morning.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
was so
dude, that's
messed
tough.
up.
It's
And
tough being out of your element like that.
I'm warmed up physically now, but now my internals are all like Tracy Morganed out from the hot dog. And
Probably a Nathan's hot dog.
I'll be all right.
Allegedly.
You guys gonna inform me of today's news, and
I'm going to inform you of a few things.
you're gonna give me good news today, right?
It depends what you call good.
No.
I was going to start with the Department of Education. Of course, today was going to be the big announcement, how they were going to cut it. Executive order was supposed to come out. It was going to be awesome. Everybody was going to be thrilled by getting rid of it for some reason. I'm not really sure. This lady here is in charge. I don't know that she has a background in this, but nonetheless, here she is. It turns out that he had to rescind that in the last, I want to say, hour. He doesn't feel that Congress will support this. This is something that has to happen through Congress. Their whole plan is to send it to the states. And I think we've talked about this before. They want to empower the parents who aren't educators, for one, the states, and then the communities to take control of, improving grades. So they'll hold them to that standard, but they don't have the background in this. And again, we go to the states. We saw the old Auburn football coach, Tuberville, talking about how we teach a little differently in the South.
As in we don't.
Exactly. And once you get through your fingers and your toes, there's not a whole lot left for counting. So better be under 20. But again, he's finally been dealt a little reality and that he's not going to be able to do this. But what they want to do is pare it down. They've already fired, 1,300 employees. They'll handle Pell Grants. They'll handle the student loans because, there's money involved. So
and
that's
a reminder, most of those employees they got rid of were white women, black women, black men, and they just kept all the white guys.
And
I'm just telling facts here. This is so now the Department of Education, which is one of those few departments that was, multi-demographic, multicultural, is literally, it might as well be the FBI now or the CIA. It's just all white dudes. So
Dude.
that's what we're doing in this giant melting pot of ours is just, putting white guys back in charge to put
mediocre white guys.
Yeah. DEI hire white guys.
Because that's your DEI right there.
Yeah.
It's Pete Hegseth can't drink enough and fast enough.
Well, in the words of
send them a case of wild turkey.
Linda McCain, McMahon, they're going to be restarting greatness. So we're there. Caroline also mentioned how it's been a giant failure for decades, and it's a waste of money. And the taxpayers.
If she's a product of that educational system, I'd have to say, yeah, maybe so.
Zing.
Yeah,
I like it.
Fuck.
So you brought up the DEI stuff. I mean, obviously, we've had a couple people that ICE just came and bagged. They were coming in their big uniforms. They had hoods on, which I don't know how close we're going to get to hoods. Here's her out of cosplay. That's our fair lady.
Oh my God,
Christy Nome. But I mean, that's pretty intimidating. These guys coming at you. Now they're going to start putting hoods on and stuff. Dude, I wouldn't want to be picked up.
These guys, these are Trump's SS. And if you don't know what the SS is, look it up because they were fucking Hitler's fanatical private army. And ICE, they've got unlimited power. They can decide who's a terrorist, what constitutes a terroristic threat. They can make people disappear. They can make fucking tourists with a tourist visa disappear because in the case of the German woman who was a tattoo artist, they were afraid she might try to work while she was here. So they snatched her up, sent her off somewhere and left her in a fucking cell and then transferred her someplace else for like 5 days?
Well, that was like 12 days or some shit, but that might have been a different woman coming from Canada.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks. That was the chick that was in American Pie, or she was in.
Okay.
No, that was the Canadian woman.
Yes.
Yeah, who had a green card and who was here on legitimate business because she got a job with an American company. Yeah, they did the same thing to her, or the German postdoc student from Boston who came back and they pulled him out because they didn't like his texts.
Yes, they didn't like
pro soccer player that got snatched up for having like a neck
the Venezuelan gangs.
or yeah. So
Well, he was brown, so I guess that was the confusion. Maybe I don't know.
What percentage of Latinos voted for Trump again? I'm just curious because I'm not Latino.
Too many.
Too many. That red hat's not going to save
man.
you.
I mean, it's just a giant FAFO.
I will say that the French scientist that got picked up, that was on the 9th of this month. So you're talking about 11 days ago. That's how slow that our news cycle works. And if you're looking for any of these rallies and stuff that are happening, the post office here in St. Louis is having a giant rally down at the postal building downtown on Sunday at 1:00. You just don't see any of this stuff.
A rally for what?
For the USPS postal system. They're tired of being jerked around.
I gotcha.
Yeah, because they're not fools, and I think we've already given the statistics enough time as to who and why they would want to take over the post office. Seems pretty pretty clear.
Well, I sent you guys that thing I saw on TikTok today about how TikTok's being censored. You can search Trump stolen election, doesn't come up. You can search Elon Nazi salute, doesn't come up. Wow. In the States. Now, if you're in Mexico, Canada, anywhere else, it'll come up. But we're actively being censored.
Yeah, and most people don't even realize it, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean it's an eye opener. We're through the looking glass here.
Yeah.
Well,
the sooner we all realize it, the better.
And people are waking up to this fact. I mean, there's no doubt that they're coming out, and you see the Republicans are no longer saying these are Democratic plants, because you saw the woman in Wyoming. These are her constituents. How many libtards do you think they have out in Wyoming that are coming to harass her? And it was a crowd full of people just giving it to her straight. And she's like, you people are going to have a heart attack. I don't know why you're so into government.
Yeah, well, just let us do what we want to do. Don't worry about it.
I was listening to NPR, 2 different NPR shows yesterday. One was about AI and AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is supposed to be even bigger than artificial intelligence. And the other lady was an expert on the Trump administration and just talking about how these Christian fascists just do not want a democracy anymore. And they had a talking point at some point last week that I missed, where just about every Republican, including Mike Johnson, is quoted as saying on a soundbite going, we don't want a democracy. Like they're saying it out loud. It's like they were saying everything's a plant. Now they're just flat out saying, we don't want a democracy anymore. We want to run this shit. White Christian males need to run the whole show and tell everybody what to do. They're not even trying to sugarcoat it anymore. So now, well, they flat out told you. I don't know if you signed up for that, but
well, and it's only a certain kind of Christian, like the Christian person that lives by like actual Christ's teaching, right? Like looking out for the poor and welcoming the stranger and the immigrant. That's not Christianity. We like the fascist brand, where we serve a God that's bitter and jealous and hateful and very petty, and must have, complete obedience at all times, and likes to get angry over very little things. That's Christianity, buddy. That's what these people are all about.
Salute, doesn't get upset by all this Nazi language they use.
Sure.
I mean,
these people are insane.
We are here. I think people realize it, but they are going to have to organize in order to defeat it. To defeat the money, because they apparently aren't going to stop. I saw the CEO from Airbnb just joined DOGE.
He sure did.
Really, dude? When DOGE is on its way down, and
it's like I'll be going Verbo then.
This way, this idiot billionaire is going to join. I mean, and then I also saw in the same breath, everybody in Galveston, Texas,
selling
their Airbnb because they know they're going to get Tesla'd. But anyway, these people are not smart, which just proves it. Billionaires, these men, they're not smart men. They're just psychopaths that are willing to take chances normal people aren't, and risk reward. And sometimes they hit it big. I mean, Elon Musk is a nutter, man.
Mm-hmm.
But Musk is getting credit. They're criticizing Senator Kelly from Arizona because he's an astronaut, and he's not showing enough respect to Elon, because maybe he wouldn't have gotten to the moon without Elon, because he's a rocket guy.
Yeah,
I remember a time when Pete Davidson had to apologize to Eye Patch because he made fun of him on SNL, Crenshaw.
Yeah.
And had to sit there and kiss his ass and, and tell all these self-deprecating jokes because he made fun of this guy one time, one joke the week before because, patriotism. Yeah. So when they say all this stuff, I thought Mark Kelly, he's a hero, right? He's a fighter jet pilot. He's an astronaut.
Yeah.
So going with their fucking criteria, you're wrong because we're supposed to do this fake hero worship stuff. And he can say whatever he wants about Elon. He's the hero. Elon's the GOAT. So
yeah.
Well, and it's the contradictions repeatedly. I mean, they're saying, "Oh, you guys are taking out on Tesla. I can't believe this." When they boycotted, how many companies did they boycott? Starting with Bud Light. I mean,
oh yeah,
a laundry list of shit.
What do you do? Took an AR-15. I just saw Kid Rock. I saw it again today. Kid Rock that the dumbass AR and missing all those Bud Light cans. And I got one thing to say: fuck Bud Light. Fuck Anheuser-Busch. Okay.
Meanwhile, he missed on purpose because he didn't want to lose
We're not allowed to do it. We're not allowed to do it too. We're not allowed to boycott stuff. We're not allowed to get angry about it. And,
yeah, dude. These guys, they're all. I don't. I'm sure people of our generation remember MASH, the TV show, and these guys are all Frank Burns, petty, thin-skinned, paranoid, mean-spirited, and just dopey.
Right. All cheating on their wives, meanwhile, with hot lips.
Oh yeah, completely hypocritical.
Lecturing us about morality and Christianity and all that other crap while they're banging hot lips on the side.
And that's their convenient caveat with their brand of Christianity. I'm forgiven. All I have to do is confess, and I'm forgiven.
So to your point, though, with the boycotts, that stuff is actually working. The best example is Target. So if you want to compare Target to Costco, Target on the 24th of January got rid of their DEI policy. Since that point, they've lost about 5 million customers. Whereas Costco, who's really pushing their DEI program, they also pay about $30 an hour in California to their workers. They're up almost 8 million customers.
Nice.
Because people like that. Now, the group that's gravitating to them are mostly Blacks and Hispanics. Wow. We're leading the charge because they're not going to eat the shit sandwich. And I think the rest of us should be following that example too. As Gene said before, he's been done with Target for years. Target's whole thing with DEI was they felt that it was better for their customer base if they get rid of it. So then it makes me wonder, do I want to be part of that customer base? Because it sounds gross.
No, man. Let the Nazis shop there.
Yes. Yeah. Have at it.
Have at it. And, oh, by the way, Elon shops at Target, by the way.
Does he? Even though they have rainbow PJs and stuff?
You're going to follow the oligarch's rules, and not one oligarch goes to Target and buys your shit. So what do you mean? You think about your customers. I mean, there's more of us than them, yet they bow down to the people with the money who can only vote once and can only buy so much crap, and they're not buying anything at Target anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't even understand the logic in that. But there's a serious fear of Trump. A lot of people have bowed down to him and gotten rid of programs. And
well, to your point, not to interrupt you, but I want to jump on this. The federal trade commissioners that were fired, they were fired after Amazon gave $40 million to Melania's production. Meta gave $25 million to the campaign, and Musk obviously gave hundreds of millions of dollars to Trump. And then they fire these people that were investigating all three of these companies. So, the money aspect is working. I wanted to ask you too, Gene, there's Ohio passed a state bill 1, which forbids colleges from teaching this isn't your kindergarten classes, colleges from teaching historic events. Those events could be slavery, the Holocaust. And the part that bothered me the most was when they talk about Nazis, they have to present the both sides. Is there a good side to that?
What's the other side?
Yeah,
the good side of Nazis.
Oh, the polite Nazi who very politely escorted you into the gas chamber. Watch your step, don't trip. Have a nice day.
They kept good paperwork. They were efficient at killing.
Very organized.
They were efficient at murder. I mean,
it sounds ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and yet these are the same people. They're so fucking anti-Semitic. Yet they want to, deport college professors and students who are protesting against what is definitely a genocide in Gaza, because
And personal
they
right.
love the Jews and they love Israel so much. Like, get the fuck out of here. How do you not see through this blatant hypocrisy?
Well,
Oh,
go ahead.
No,
No, you go, Gene.
Oh, well, I saw Deborah Winger out protest. There's plenty of high-profile Jewish people out there profiling, not in my name.
For sure.
It literally just isn't being covered. It's just one of those things. Melissa went through it years and years ago. She was going to the Women's March and all these protests, and I'd be at home watching CNN and crickets, literally crickets, maybe 30 seconds of a snippet. Like right now in Washington, D.C., there's a little protest going on, and it would be a massive million-person protest. And they've been doing this to us for a while. I just think it took us a really long time to catch on. Like, we were literally the frogs in the boiling water. And now, I don't know if it's too late. I don't know if we're going to get boiled up or not, but we're on.
Getting hot in here.
And we're upset. And I see a lot of, they can't say there's Democratic Soros plants at these town halls anymore. They know they're Republicans. They know what's what.
Dude, when they're chanting tax the rich and drowning out the speaker, it's pretty impressive. And
the guy's like, why do you think taxing the rich is going to help? Like, yeah, no shit.
The support, they're sitting there. I love DOGE. That's crazy, insane. They're not reading the room at all.
No.
But then again, that doesn't surprise me, because Democrats haven't been reading the room for decades. And look at where they're at now, at their 17% approval rating with Chuck Schumer. Honestly.
Okay, and
Chuck Schumer won't even go into the room.
To that point, I love when KK Caroline comes out and says, the Democrats could really use a boost because they're at their lowest numbers ever. They're at their lowest numbers ever because people hate the Republican agenda and they're mad at the Democrats for not doing anything. It's not because they think Trump's so amazing. And to that point, I'm going to put this up here to lead with it. Trump has repealed LBJ's 1965 executive order, which banned federal contractors from having racially segregated facilities like restaurants, waiting rooms, water fountains. And I put Colin Powell up. I'll come back to him, actually. It's part of this story. So this is where we want to go back to, apparently. Waiting room for colored only. I mean, these photos to me are so disturbing. And this one, I'm like wondering, is the water that's discarded going to this other fountain? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah. None of this made any sense. This was so ridiculous. And
then I just want to show the distaste of these women, how they're looking at this young woman who's trying to get educated with this anger. And you can see there's cops in the background and stuff, the military police or whoever those guys are. What are we doing here? How is this acceptable that that's your goal? We're going to repeal this? Like, that makes any sense to anybody? Dude, and it goes on. Go ahead, Billy.
Well, they're ignorant and they're hateful and they're afraid. They're afraid of anything different. They believe what they've been told, that they're the master race and that, the races need to be segregated. Like, dude, cut your finger open. What color is that blood? It's the same as if anybody else cut it. We're all the same. And it's just these people, it's just fear and ignorance and hate.
Well, you're absolutely right. And to that point, Colin Powell, and I'm circling back to him, he has been dead since 2021. Think of him what you want with the Iraq war. I mean, he was kind of set up, if you ask me. But they took the list of the most memorable Americans at Arlington National Cemetery, and they removed Colin Powell today. And I was like, wow, that's kind of a weird thing that you would remove this one guy. But no, it gets better. They removed any person of color and every woman. So literally, it's whites only. I mean, what is Texas doing?
I saw something really interesting. It was a YouTube video that I was watching the other night. And so the U.S. military was segregated in World War II, right? So they had very few black fighting units. But after the D-Day invasion, as the Allies broke out of France and were racing across Europe towards Germany, they had trouble with the supply lines because the Germans still held the ports at Antwerp and up north, and it took a shit. They required so much fuel, so much ammo, everything, and it took a while for everything to get from Normandy to catch up with where they were. So they got together and they came up with the idea of a convoy. It was called the Red Ball Express, right? So they had all these trucks, and they ran 24/7 And you know who drove all these trucks?
Black.
They were African-American soldiers. Yeah, they were black soldiers. And they were fucking under attack. Dude, they drove through the night with just like little cat eye slits over the headlights. It was dangerous work, but they had to get through.
What? What was it called? The
Red Ball Express.
Red Ball Express. Huh, interesting.
It was fascinating. And because if those guys don't do that, if they don't get through, the whole advance slows down and the war slogs on longer. But, you know, nobody wants to hear about that. But, you know, KKK Caroline, well, you ought to be speaking, you know, German in France. But I mean, to take away the achievements of anybody that fought. And here's something else, dude.
Here's your guys on the Express, by the way.
Yeah. These are the guys that made it happen. They drove these trucks. They said sometimes, I mean, they went through so much wear and tear. Sometimes these tires were like literally glued and taped together.
Oh my
These
God.
guys were not driving like safe vehicles all the time. Dangerously overloaded, and they plowed through and they got it done. And now you just want to turn around and forget about all of that. And
yeah,
dude, if you're a Steeler fan, you know who Rocky Bleier is, the running back who was injured in Vietnam, came back, and you know that he wrote a book and they made a movie out of it. None of that happens. He was saved after being injured in Vietnam. And this is in his book. A guy, a black soldier he never met, didn't know who he was, didn't know his name, picked him up and fucking carried him out of the combat zone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Forrest Gumped his ass right out of there.
He did yeah, exactly.
Dude, what I've realized in my lifetime, being 56 years old and being a person of color, is most of Black history has already been erased. I'm just rediscovering shit like you're saying right now today because of the fact that they're running around complaining about how we're not talking about enough great white men. And by the way, Liz Cheney did this shit during the fucking Bush Cheney administration when she was bitching on CNN about how we're erasing white men, good white men from history. That's why I write these bullshit history books about white dudes and what great heroes they are. They've been doing this shit the whole time, dude. This has never stopped. They've just never been more open about it, just like literally digitally erasing the stuff. But they've always suppressed it. Who knew that all the people that doing the math so all you white boys could get into space were black women? Who knew that until that movie comes out?
Yeah.
Who knew that a black woman invented the first security system for homes? I mean, you just don't know. Or the first traffic light, or the first gas mask, or
air conditioning.
And I cannot even remember that white men and white CEOs have taken advantage of and monetized. Mm-hmm. And the list is enormous, or the cotton gin, or whatever.
Sure.
So what they're really forcing us to do is relearn lost history, which I found out a lot about at that African American Music Museum in Nashville. Just how the music came about, literally from slavery, literally from 11 million human beings surviving, being strapped on their backs in fucking boats and shipped all over the world. Survived. Those are the ones that survived, not the 7 million that died.
Yeah.
I'm talking about another Holocaust. I'm talking about the 11 million that survived, and how all this amazing music came from that, how something wonderful came from from one of the most savage things in the history
and Elvis isn't Elvis without black music.
Yeah, that is true, man.
Of course not. Mama Thornton played Jailhouse Rock, or that song, before Elvis ever made it famous, and she could actually play guitar. So, yeah, dude, it's just all been erased. So it's upon us, like we're out protesting, and people are making good trouble. I'm not talking about people burning Teslas. I know that's highly illegal. Sure. I'm not going to condemn it.
Sure.
I understand the vitriol. I mean, you guys want to talk about January 6th and how upset you are? Your white ways are getting replaced.
Oh, they were patriots.
You went shit on the Capitol floors and tried to kill cops and shit. Well, people are pissed on our side now. So I understand the sentiment. So I'm not condoning anything. I don't condone January 6th. I don't condone burning up Teslas. For Christ's sakes, I own a fucking Tesla. I don't want my shit heat either.
Well, I thought it was funny because KK Caroline's whole point was, while she was being interviewed about how these are terroristic attacks, and they're talking about putting drones above every Tesla or Tesla dealership because that's so important. No, we wouldn't think to do that when there's school shootings and stuff, but when it comes to Elon's businesses, of course. But I thought it was entertaining that the anchor was like, it's so dangerous. I mean, a lot of parents will leave their children in the car, and it's like, what?
Really?
What?
Like that? The white woman.
That's not
in
even legal. You can't leave an underage child in the car and run into the store. You can't even leave your fucking car running anymore. That's against the law in most cities.
Yeah. But it does, dude, I remember reading a case about a white woman who was having an affair, banging some dude in a motel room, and left her kid in the car on a hot day in Georgia, and the kid died.
Yeah. Oh, that happens every year.
For sure. The guy that didn't know
into a strip bar for a few hours,
or the guy that didn't know his wife didn't take the kid to daycare, and it was his day, and the kid's in the back. That was pretty horrific.
I remember that. Yeah, that was brutal.
That was pretty tough.
Or the woman who was having an affair with her boss, and he wouldn't leave his wife for her Susan Smith, because she had kids. So she drowned the kids and blamed it on a black guy. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Black guys Emmett Till. Black guys. There's a lot of Emmett Till stories out there.
Yeah. How was that woman never prosecuted?
Because
it's the South.
Yeah, exactly. So to that point, we are here hoping to inform, hoping to give you a good source for shit that's actually real. Gene always comes up with these points that we don't know, or Uncle Bill, as in today. And my point is that it works. When you put it out there and people understand it, they put Calvin Rogers back on. He's not 404 when you click on his information.
And remind the audience who Calvin Rogers is?
He was the first Black Medal of Honor winner. He did 3 tours in Vietnam. He was an amazing person. And he fought for this country, and they tried to take him off. Jackie Robinson, same thing. But people push back because our generation's still educated enough to say, hey, it's Jackie Robinson. Are you insane? We're going to take his historical value. He also served, and that's why they want to take him down. It's just crazy.
But the Elvis page is still up, I imagine.
Of course.
And Elvis didn't even do combat or anything. He was just sort of like a celebrity soldier that went around and, I don't know, played ping pong or some shit. So
basically,
I mean, it's just so blatant.
It is.
It is blatant.
Drunk ass defense secretary who is just destroying his
all day.
He's got white supremacy tattoos.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but
and he's a drunk.
Let it go. We can make an excuse for anything when a certain demographic does it.
Oh yeah, dude, they'll twist themselves into pretzels trying to.
Kanye West does it. Kyrie Irving sends a link out, and people lose their mind. They're anti-Semitic as whatever. And I mean, have your opinions on what you want, but let's just have the same energy.
Yeah, I agree.
For a Nazi salute that you do for anything Kanye West does, because Kanye West has no fucking power over you.
Yeah, very true.
Kanye West already got punished. He lost $2 billion. Now it's time to punish Elon for doing the same shit. Have the same energy. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Well, again, man, people want to come back to, it's cancel culture. No, it's like it's capitalism, man. I don't like the way you're going about your business, so I'm not going to, utilize it anymore.
You're not getting my money. It's pretty easy and simple.
I don't know what part of that they can't understand.
And back to the federal government. I mean, the Asheville had horrible destruction in their towns, and they had an aid package. I'm not sure they're still using FEMA. I'm not sure if that's a thing anymore. But they had an aid package of $225 million that was supposed to house people, get the water lines back, electricity. And they held it back because 15 million of the 225 million went to small businesses that were minority and women owned. So until they take out that 15 million that go to minorities and women owned small businesses, they get nothing. You get no money. And people are pissed.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Trump acts like he's the king. He's like some benevolent king handing out his own money.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to decide. It's
disgusting.
Well, it's super racist. And I don't understand. And the mainstream media just doesn't use the word racism, which I've never heard them call Trump the racist he actually is. And there's incidents where this dude's been anti-Semitic, anti-Black, anti-immigrant, I mean, look at, he took out a full page ad on innocent people.
Yep.
Didn't even commit a crime in New York, and he's never even fucking apologized for it. He's like, fuck them, they're Black, I don't care. That's his attitude. I don't know
That's
how
who he
he's
is.
popular in rap culture. Other than that, it's perceived mogul bullshit. It's just all very confusing to me how this guy got a second chance. I mean, I get why you gave him a shot the first time, because politicians are pretty pathetic, and
The Democrats again were
deal and insider trade and do all the shit that everybody else does that we criminalize or RICO Act. And he's just like, screw it, they're doing it. Let me become a politician and do it legally. And this guy doesn't even do it legally. He still does it illegally. He still gets bribes, and people come to Mar-a-Lago or stay at his hotels. It's just
$5 million. You want to eat with them by yourself?
yeah.
Stop worshiping billionaires. I mean, literally. We should be vilifying billionaires. I'm sorry to say it, but the billionaires are on the psychopathic. They're psychopaths. They're psychopaths. Not that there's any fucking distinction between the two. They're nut jobs. And we worship this stuff because they have the ability to take giant psychotic risks and make money. If you're not a psycho, why would you worship that? Why are you brainwashed into believing having the money in the world makes you happy or gives you any purpose in life? These people are lost. They don't know what to do with their time. This dude's all over the place. He's got 11 businesses, 14 kids. Apparently, he hands out sperm to any white chick that asks for it. And then when she takes it, that's a true story. I heard that on NPR. Like, this guy is offering sperm to any European-based woman in America right now. He wants to make as many babies as he literally can, but he doesn't even want to pay for them. He'll take you to court in Texas where the child 2,700, I think, 2,750 or some shit like that. And women are going for it. You people are insane. I just quit this hero worship of billionaires. It's not
Do you actually have to have the baby, or can you just send him a picture of a random kid and ask for your check?
I don't know. I imagine he would pay for a DNA test. He's proud to make him with his turkey baster. He just doesn't want to pay for him afterwards. It's
well, is most of this, I mean, we talk about trying not to be distracted. Early on, we want to stick to healthcare. We want to stick to wealth equality, jobs, minimum wage, that type of thing. But all these distractions, the flaming Teslars, et cetera, we're almost missing the point of what Trump's really doing with the money. There was a Yale study that came out that talked about Trump's budget. Basically, the mission is to transfer large amounts of wealth. So you're taking it from the poorest 40% of us and giving it to the top 1%. It's a 4.5 trillion in tax cuts, 1.5 trillion in spending cuts. I think you know where that's coming from. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. And disproportionately, all the people at the bottom are going to be people of color, minorities, etc. And just
women, single women, white moms with no husbands. It runs the gamut. It's going to be people with no money. And the weirdest thing is, what people don't realize is, as Melissa informed me today when she was doom scrolling, rich people love recessions. When they have lots of cash and shit becomes really cheap,
they buy it.
They go shopping.
They
take your businesses, they buy your houses and make them Airbnbs. They just go on a shopping spree when the recession hits, because everything becomes so cheap and they're so cash rich. So we hit that recession, people. Get ready. They're gonna buy up all your shit, all your buildings, all your real estate, all your businesses, all your farms.
I was reading something the other day. The credit card companies do it too. If you have a certain amount of debt that you're carrying and a certain amount of income, your rate goes up, your interest rate goes up. But if you're wealthy, dude, those perks just keep rolling in. Extra miles, extra, percent money back, whatever you want. Luxury upgrades anywhere and everywhere.
Well, to your point, it's coming to groceries and stuff too, where they'll let you take home the groceries on your account, and then they're charging you interest on it too, just like a credit card.
Oh, wow.
Another way to stick you deeper in debt, as they take $230 billion from the SNAP program, which I think we know who that helps, and then another $880 billion from Medicaid. I mean, these are losers. It keeps circling back as the distraction.
I have a point of contention with you. Reclaiming my time. you just said we all know who that benefits. Rob, no, they don't. they assume it just benefits people of color. They don't even realize it benefits white women, single moms.
You're right. Good point.
Who make up most of this country. That's the problem, is they think it benefits one demographic when it benefits everybody.
Yeah,
But mostly white people. And I still don't think they get that point, because the mainstream media isn't going to tell you that this benefit, these free lunches are going to white kids too. They're just not going to.
You're right. You're absolutely correct. And again, unlike the Department of Education, there's so much built in for children with disabilities that the parents are now taking upon themselves, who they're trying to gather to say, what are we going to do? It's a unique problem to have when you have a child that has a disability. A lot of people don't understand that. But
my daughter does have a disability. My daughter has convergence disorder, which is an eye disability that she got eye training for. I've explained that shit to you all before. But because of having a Department of Education, when she was growing up in grade school, once we diagnosed her convergence, she got extra time for tests. She got extra help with work. She got certain things that she needed because she couldn't do a test as fast as somebody that didn't have that disability. Now, it's not the biggest disability in the world, but having dyslexia or convergence disorder or one of these things that can affect your learning is a big deal when you're trying to learn.
Oh, yeah.
Those things were addressed because we have a Department of Education. And because of that, my daughter's at an Ivy League school, because it was never about how smart she was. It was about providing her the resources she needed to succeed, which they used to. And oh, by the way, they're currently now taking it away. So all those Mayas out there in the world are potentially going to get screwed because they're not going to get the help they need.
Or kids that learn better, can't learn auditorily, or, they're visual learners. You try and help them so that they can achieve what everybody else achieves. Because you're right. I think people think of disabled and they think it's a kid in a wheelchair or a kid missing an eye or some shit. It's regular people.
Lots of shit.
It's normal people that just aren't quite 100% there. And the new rule is that we'll just put them at the slot machine, or we'll put them at some menial job that they can handle, as opposed to finding their full potential, which goes back to like what the American dream is supposed to be, that you can.
Yeah, and here's the thing, dude, that costs all of us. How much wasted potential? How many, potential people that could have discovered a cure for cancer, whether they're poor, whether they're Black, growing up, in different circumstances, that don't get that help. And that cripples our whole society. There's so much wasted potential and wasted talent out there that we're not nurturing just because of stupid reasons.
Well, and that's why I think you said it the other day when on the read listen, University of Texas, Harvard, these are colleges that are now going to welcome in people that don't have, hundreds of millions of dollars or millions of dollars. And they're going to help bring that into the fold, which it gives you a different point of view. It gives you a different perspective that helps all of us, because maybe in my, tunnel vision, I only know one perspective. I'd like to know some other perspectives.
Yeah. I mean, that's called education. That's called opening up your mind.
Yeah.
And, apparently that's not very in vogue these days. No.
Instead, we'd rather pay the DOGE kids, which I think I saw today. Those DOGE kids are making, they're 20 somethings. They make $175,000 a year to destroy our country, basically.
Wasn't his whole thing like, come and work for free, show your dedication?
They're not free anymore. And they're like, and so here are these, I don't know which one's Big Balls. I think he's the upper right here, old Big Balls. But the point is that people work in government for a long fucking time, and they're not getting $175,000 a year. But these pinheads come in, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, we got to pay these guys. But I thought it was for free.
They give them unfettered access to all of your private data, all of your credit report, your banking account, your tax returns, every fucking thing in the hands of those knuckleheads.
Yeah.
We take this shit back and we find out these guys have broken the law, and we find out any of them have been traitors to our country. If they go to prison and they get the death penalty, I 100% volunteer to the firing squad. Just fuck you, motherfuckers. Seriously, I mean, if you're doing illegal shit, and these Democrats aren't on board with punishing these people to the full extent of the law, there are laws on the motherfucking books right now that Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and all these idiots are breaking.
Yeah,
there better be punishments, because I tend to remember when Barack Obama got elected, and Bush and Cheney committed all those goddamn crimes, and Barack Obama's like, let's look forward, let's not look back. That's why we have Trump today. If we take this shit back over through populism, you better punish people that broke laws on the books.
Oh yeah,
I'm tired of this crap.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, dude, it goes back to
the law.
It goes back to not prosecuting Nixon, pardoning him just for the good of the country. Let's heal. Like,
that was
no.
Oh, by the way, that was another thing. I'm going to pull a Bill Rosa moment and act like I know something here. I really don't. I was listening to NPR, and that when you bring up Nixon, that's how this shit all started. Bill Kristol and his boys, and I know Bill Kristol's on our side now as a never Trumple, but they're the ones that are like, never again are we going to let the mainstream media destroy our president. That's how all this shit started, and all this Fox News and all this propaganda and bullshit was started by people that don't even like Trump anymore. And it graduated to Trump because you can't do shit like that. All fascism, motherfuckers. Break a law, go to jail.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I mean, but anyway, Bill Kristol, I was listening about how, these guys, these neocons, just never again, because of Nixon. They were so upset about Nixon. And they've been working on this stuff for a solid 50 years.
Yeah.
Now we are with the dumbest idiot, moron, worst president we've ever had, and we reelected him somehow because propaganda works that well. And
voter suppression.
Now he's touched I would say at this point, he's touched every single American in this country in a negative way, including the non-American immigrants. Everybody's been affected by this crap now.
Well, and to your point, Fox News had a poll, and 39% of Fox News viewers feel that the economy is going well. 39%. That means 60% of Fox viewers do not like it. In fact, Trump's net job approval is -2. He and this is in 2 months. He's probably the lowest rated president ever 2 months into his term, because people don't like. They like his. The one thing they like is his immigration policy. But they hate everything else. They hate his economy. They hate his foreign policy. They hate his healthcare. They don't like the tariffs. They don't like his budget. But he's winning on immigrants.
I'm gonna give them an out on immigration, and here's why.
Okay.
Congress, you guys have had decades to come up with an immigration policy.
That is true.
That you could agree upon. In fact, you had an agreement in place, and you let Trump sabotage it. A year or two ago. The reason they like his immigration policies is because he's literally just finally doing something about immigration, because we have no policy, and it's bullshit. That's on Democrats, man. Come up with a comprehensive, fair immigration policy. That should be so easy to do and so bipartisan. Everybody realizes it's rich white guys hiring all these illegal, I hate saying illegal, undocumented.
Thank you.
To run construction, their meat packing plants, their cattle ranches. You already know who's hiring these guys. Like Tom Hartman has been saying for 30 freaking years. Start putting the CEOs of these companies that are hiring these people in jail, and they'll quit hiring them, and maybe they'll hire you and pay you more money. It's that simple to get the so-called job you want. But you guys don't really want these jobs. So it's hush, hush. We'll let them in until we don't. And now you FAFO'd yourself, and now Nebraska might go bankrupt. Other states might go bankrupt because you need those undocumented immigrants, because they were making things cheaply for you so you could afford to buy them. And now
they show up to work, and they show up to work sober.
Yeah, and they work hard, man.
Yeah.
Look at any roofing crew you see.
Before we get off,
you know that too. You instinctually know that. I don't know why you guys got sold this bill of goods like all immigrants are MS-13 or some shit.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
It's just pure. It's racism. Get over your racist bullshit, man. It's just it's a characteristic. There's no such thing as race, by the way. If America didn't know that, it's a characteristic. My black skin is just a characteristic of my DNA. It's not a race. We're in the human race. There's only one race. If you could just hammer home that point as Americans from birth to death, we might get over this whole it matters what you look like to put you in some sort of weird caste system. I just don't understand. As an American, I grew up with sports privilege. I mean, I'm well aware that I have black skin, and I'm well aware of racism in America. But I grew up with a certain amount of privilege, you know, because I played sports and people kissed my ass, even though they may be a little bit racist. They'll ingratiate themselves to me because I don't understand the dynamic of it. I don't know how you could be so virulently racist and yet root for an all-black Pittsburgh Pirates team or some shit in the 70s.
Yeah, good point.
I don't get it. That goes over my head. But that being said, I've had privilege in my life just from playing sports. So I sort of kind of get privilege. You know, it's troubling. It's just weird to be liked because of what you did.
Yeah, for sure.
You are. It's just
you're on my team.
Weird, yeah, it's a weird situation. It's a weird feeling. And then the second LeBron left Cleveland, all of a sudden they're burning his fucking jerseys and calling him the N-word. That literally happened. And then when he decides to come back, they embrace him. Dudes. It's weird to me. I don't know. It's just the whole.
It is. It's weird. It's
I don't quite understand it. I wish I did. That's just the one thing I don't understand in America. Is this whole privilege thing? We're all kind of created equally. Well, we all do different things. We're all have different talents. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But we never addressed it, man. After the Civil War, the Confederacy should have been thoroughly crushed. Reconstruction should have lasted a generation. That should have been stamped out. And instead, you pushed it aside to elect some mediocre white guy into office again. And because, progress was starting to be made, but that's where this all goes back to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't even think people realize we had black senators after Reconstruction, and that all went away because of the KKK. We had black representatives. That all went away because of the KKK, Jim Crow. We had this thing set in motion, but then they were like, let's let the white people back in the fold. Let's forgive them. Let's make them full Americans again. It's like, no, you should have treated those bitches like they were the Japanese for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm saying after World War II.
I got you.
And their ass. I'm not trying to be racist.
I know.
I'm just saying they were the enemy. You treat them like they were the enemy.
They were traitors.
Up with a plan. You do not let them back in the fold like they did nothing. You don't let them Congress again. Every single one of them is going to have a lifetime ban on running for any office anywhere. And that would currently not only be black, it would be run by blacks because mostly blacks live in the South. But that's not what we did. It's insane how you see some of these districts run by a white guy and the entire district's black in Alabama. It's just the way they characterize themselves, the way they do things. It's incredibly troubling. But again, Trump's affected everybody now. Hopefully everybody gets a wake-up call. I've been woke for a long time now. Being woke is a good thing. I know some idiots think it's a bad thing, but it's actually...
They don't know what it is.
They don't know what it is.
So you said about the enemy, and I just wanted to come back, the internment camps for the Japanese and such. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which Trump sent those Venezuelans to El Salvador. The judge today, they had till, I want to say it was 10 a.m. this morning, to answer 5 questions that he presented to them. They blew it off. That did not happen today. So we're going to see what the next step is on that judge ruling and who he's going to bring in there. Maybe Stephen Miller can come down and explain exactly why he's such a racist turd.
Stephen Miller's busy, man.
Getting busy. Am I right?
That's the rumor anyway. But
that's what I'm hearing. I'm telling you, her cadence today was a lot like his. It was almost creepy. And that popped into my head. And I was like, maybe he does talk in his sleep. I don't know.
Well, you knew that 60-year-old was going to run out of energy and Viagra. So,
yes. So just to circle back on the DOGE kids making $175,000. This is for my people in Pennsylvania, which, we're from. They've cut 425 plus campsites across Pennsylvania. All across the state, we're getting rid of these campsites. We talked about this before, how much the parks, the budget's $3.6 billion, but it brings in $55 billion in revenue.
Fucking MAGAs own RVs, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm talking we're talking probably 85% of all RV owners are probably registered Republicans.
Yeah.
He's affected everybody.
You're absolutely right. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Republicans like camping too. They like camping and fishing and hiking.
Yeah. It's one of the things we can agree upon when I have a really red friend. These are the things we can agree on. the outdoors, use of the outdoors, clean air, clean water. I mean, I know Trump says we have the cleanest air and the cleanest water, but come on. The reality is it's not. The reality is he's taken off 31 different restrictions on power plants and coal plants. And, it's crazy. Yeah. We're going backwards on that front. But he seems to be okay with that. To that point, Britain and Germany have issued warnings of their citizens traveling to the U.S. So we should be listening to some of that. It seems to make sense, and it's a little bit scary. When we do organize and we do push back, like we talked about Jackie Robinson and Rogers, getting them back on the system, everybody complained about Social Security because they were going to take away the call centers. And they were like, no, okay, everybody's mad. We'll keep the call centers. Well, now they're saying that their way around it, and this came out today, is you can't verify your identity on the phone anymore. So you're going to have to get to one of these Social Security offices in person, which is difficult for many people that might be in, I don't know, let's just say an older care facility or something. It's not going to happen. I don't know where that money is going to go, but they're also closing Social Security offices. So we pushed back. We want the call centers. And they said, okay, you know what? You can have your call centers, but here's something. We need proof of ID, and you can't just call in and tell me who you are. So they're just moving the goalposts and making it harder.
Yeah, which they
People already aren't receiving their Social Security checks, and they're kind of pissed. But I will say this, to get a meeting in one of these offices is 60 plus days. So I don't know what you're doing.
And yeah, I mean, you're throwing these people to the wolves.
Pretty much. Survival of the fittest, I guess. I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah, dude, it's just ridiculous. You pay into something for your whole working life, right? And now we're not really taking it away, but you can't have it.
But you better prove it, buddy.
Yeah,
even
and a lot of people
isn't that fucking stupid. Even Putin has enough to pay pensions to his military and his pensioners, and so he can get away with being a dictator. I don't think even Trump's smart enough to know how to play dictator. He's just not that bright, man.
He's not that bright.
They don't have the best.
But he's got people like Lutnick, this gentleman, the Commerce Secretary, who's on, I think it was Hannity last night, talking about buying Teslas. You'd be a fool. You need to go out and buy this stock. It's never going to be this low again. And the robots that he's putting out are just incredible.
We've been singing that shit to about 120 for margin calls for Elon Musk. So he's wrong on that one. It's going lower, baby. Sorry, Luckdick. And I never like that piece of shit anyway, dude. This is the same fucking guy I watched cry on CNN in 2001 like a little baby, losing all of his employees at Cantor Fitzgerald, and how he was going to take care of their families and never let them want for anything, and literally stabbed him in the back the first second he didn't give him shit. That's who Trump hires. The worst of the worst. And he gets away with it because no one ever reported it, dude. No one ever shit on this guy for years and years and years. We should have been shitting on this guy for 23 years about how he fucked over these people from 9/11. But we just let this shit go because he's rich. And I'm so tired of this crap. I'm not letting anything go from any rich guy ever again. They're all a bunch of losers. They should be vilified. We should eat the rich. We hate the rich. I don't endorse what Luigi did, but I certainly understand. I don't endorse blowing up Cybertrucks or keying my own personal Tesla. Please don't do that. But I understand the sentiment. It's ridiculous. You should be this mad. They are screwing you this hard. Don't let them get the military on your ass. It's over at that point. Right now, they're too afraid to do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to do a test case somewhere because he tried a bunch of years ago with Black Lives Matter.
That's right.
They had General Milley who wouldn't go for it. But
but now you've got drunky Pete.
Simple Pete Hegseth who will drink a fucking bottle of tequila and start dropping nukes on Baltimore.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
That's true.
But we got a pretty good. Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll kind of see how that works. To your point, the happiest country came out, the list for 2025. Finland, #1 for the 8th year in a row. Good for them. And the U.S. apparently has never been lower than where they are now. Never have we been this low before. And I guess I kind of understand why. Here's Finland. Here's the list. Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden. But you get down a little bit lower. Whoa. You get down a little bit lower, and there's the U.S. number 24, baby. Woo.
Wow.
We are above Belize. I don't know why they're more unhappy than we are. That's strange. But yeah, Germany, the UK, and I can't help but think that Canada at 18, that some of that actually has to do with us. I mean,
Well,
we
could
kind of
be.
rub off on people and make things worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I would not be surprised.
I was a little surprised that we weren't even in the top 10 of happiness, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised. When we're being led around by people like this guy, Jesse Waters, he came out with 5 rules for men.
This
If
guy's
you
such
can
an
guess
asshole.
any of them, you're a real man. Any guesses?
Melissa, would you heat me up a bowl of soup, please?
Let's see. I'm guessing.
Go
Never in
ahead.
public, Gene. Never in public. God damn it.
Now, what are the rules, bud?
Well, you were right. Never eat soup in public because
Right.
that's emasculating. Never cross your legs because that means you're, I don't know, a woman.
Barack Obama. Yeah. Go ahead.
No straws because you don't want to purse your lips. Meanwhile, there's a ton of pictures of him having a milkshake and Trump pursing his lips. No double hand waves. We don't do double hand waves. Okay, it's not a thing.
But
Trump's
you can
done
do
that
this.
before too. Trump was doing that when he came home from the COVID. He was waving like that. So
And because he was busted on the milkshake thing, no milkshakes. Okay, it's just not very manly. And they're like, it's a children's drink. What's wrong with
That
you?
guy's a fucking child. He's a complete tool.
He is, and I think
don't
part of
understand
it.
how these beta men that, and no offense to you guys, because you're badasses at 160 pounds, but this little pissant, like Jesse Waters, come knock on my door and tell me the 5 things that make that I have to do to be a man, and then see what I do to your face. Okay.
Number 6 is
I'm
punch
telling
you in the face, Jesse.
Dude, exactly, because dude, you're not a man. Getting on TV and saying that to a monitor where no one can punch you in your face, dude, that's not very manly. That's super beta. To sit there and lecture us with no consequences. Again, there was a couple generations that needed to get in a few more fist fights. Every single one of us has had our asses kicked in our lives and gotten punched in the face or thrown on the ground or been roughed up a little bit. And these guys talk so freaking tough for never having even cracked a nail.
And you know he hasn't. I mean, all he did was
incredible.
slash a tire and get a new wife. That doesn't
Like stalker. I mean, stalker behavior is. And I also heard he said and you never say the word misogyny. What are you talking about, Jesse Waters? You can't say the word misogyny or you're not a man. I mean, dude, the most beta. These people are the most beta.
That's ridiculous.
They're so beta. It's just that being a former giant athlete that could just crush people for a living, like his size. It's just to see him talk shit like that. Even at my old advanced age, man, do I want to cage fight that motherfucker so bad.
I'd pay to see that.
Fuck up for 30 seconds. Just nonstop. Him, Scott Jennings, just name one of those pundits on TV. I'll cage match any of them as long as they're not on roids, like RFK Jr.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He might whoop my ass.
We'll
I
save
don't know,
him.
man. I can't see that guy having any
Kill a
stamina.
bear.
though.
He can kill a bear.
No, that bear was already dead.
Baby bear, I know, I'm kidding.
But yeah, I think you'd whoop his ass too.
No, I'm just saying, man, these guys that have never been in a fight talking about manhood. What do you know about manhood? Never fought in a war, never, weren't a World War II veteran. Never fought against fascism. The shit coming out of your mouth is incredible. It's just someone needs to slap the spit out of it. I'm not me, of course, because I'm a peaceful man.
You're a lover, not a fighter. I'm coming up to happy ending. I hate to pop it up, but I'm going first. My happy ending was what I saw today. Every one of these Cybertrucks was recalled because the plating or whatever is peeling off. And when it comes off, you can see the glue that they have marked on the side.
I mean, look
Total
at that thing,
recall.
dude. It looks like a prop from an 80s sci-fi movie about what cars would look like in the year 2000.
Dude, you know what? It looks like a German half-track from World War II. I saw a comparison of a German half-track like tank type, and they're shaped very similarly.
Really?
I often wonder if Elon is just pulling shit from Nazi lore and making it a reality. He's just such a.
I wouldn't be
doesn't
surprised.
he doesn't do things on accident. He's an idiot, but he has these ideas and these thoughts running through his head. And again, I don't think this dude's on the spectrum at all. I think he's a socially awkward drug addict, in my personal opinion, that has all these tics and whatever because of ketamine and shit. Has nothing to do with being on any weird spectrum or anything or having Tourette's or anything. He's a loser weirdo from South Africa who doesn't know our culture.
A laminated face.
Who wanted to save the world apparently, but in reality, what he wants is he wants to make money and he wants power, and he's close to power right now.
Very close. In fact, he's got Trump taking care of his kid. He's babysitting him while he's conducting business on Air Force One.
Jeez, I don't know, man. We just I don't know.
It's a weird thing. Like you said, it's affecting everybody.
It was like 50,000, 46,000 Cybertrucks or some shit like that, I think.
Yeah, they were all recalled. Amazing.
That's a significant number.
Suckers.
Well, good. That's a good happy ending. I mean, anything that costs this guy money, anything that gets this guy down to $120 stock price where he gets margin called would literally make my year. I would love to see. And by the way, big shareholders are selling like 100 million shares of Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they want him to resign.
Exactly. And I'm all for it. So my car doesn't get blown up. Because I'm not getting rid of it. I'm sorry, man. As a black man in America, none of you libtards are going to tell me after I bought this thing in 2020 that I need to get rid of it. I'm not fucking Sheryl Crow. I don't have Sheryl Crow's money. I'm not one of those bastards that can make some liberal gesture. I'm keeping this car. It's my car. I paid for it. I bought it.
Why not?
I bought it before this guy lost his fucking mind. Go blow up.
It's not a bad car.
Yeah, and it's not a bad car, except for the Cybertruck, which is a total piece of shit.
Yeah, that's a joke.
The regular Teslas, they're all right, man. I mean, they were the first with the charging stations, so I could get across the country and go do my stuff and try to do something for the environment and not use gas. And I thoroughly enjoy, by the way. I haven't pumped gas in 5 years.
Never had that smell of gas on your hand, eh?
It's fantastic. It's and I know there's cars up and coming, but this one hasn't. I would be shitting on the environment if I got rid of the car before I got my full use out of the car as well.
Sure.
We
know China has an amazing electric car. They tear the shit out of it, so we can't get them over here.
Well, and they're making motorcycles, by the way, that rival like all these Japanese bike companies like Honda, Yamaha. They're making these killer cruisers and all these bikes. Intellectual theft is legit.
Their thing.
So I remember, was it 20 years ago when we started coming up with the windmills for for electricity? China invited all those guys over to do the windmill technology, and then after they built all the windmill technology for them, China locked them out of their own system and reverse engineered it and stole it and just uses it. And I don't think our American government did shit about it. That might have been during the Obama years. I mean, this is Dems are in on this shit too. And by the way, Obama lecturing all those people a few months back about got to do this, existential threat, fascist, dictator. All I saw from him today was his NCAA bracket. This is why Democrats are not popular. Here's my NCAA bracket. Dude, I don't give a shit about your NCAA bracket.
Yeah, nobody cares about your bracket.
I want to hear about how to get rid of Trump. That's what I want to hear about. Sports is great, but give me a break, man. This is serious business. And you guys told me this guy wanted to be Adolf Hitler. You legit said this guy wanted to be a fascist dictator. And now you're telling me about your NCAA brackets. Yeah. This is why Democrats are out of touch. This is why nobody is loving on Obama right now. Dude, come on, man. I mean, Democrats, wake
and
up.
The best quote of the day, to play into yours, the best quote of the day today was that nobody gives a shit about your bracket, okay?
Oh, exactly. I've never even filled out a bracket. I don't even know how to do that.
I've got 6 of them, but we're trying to make a point here. I'm not telling you about it.
Yeah, it's just keep it to yourself. If you win, then brag about it.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Otherwise, shut the hell up. Nobody cares.
Uncle Bill, I need a happy ending out of you, buddy.
Well, it's spring. It's officially spring.
You said you hated spring. That's not happy.
I like spring. Spring's okay. I like spring.
You're a big fan. You like the longer days of light and the warmer temperature.
I do.
Yeah, I'm sure I get like that winter seasonal.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Whatever. It's just
Yeah,
dark
seasonal.
long.
Yeah.
We even have to get like a light, one of those lights, just to
Mhm.
blind me so that
Little
I
light
feel like I'm
therapy.
getting sun.
Well, happy
Yeah, you need
spring,
that.
Bill. Good for you. Happy equinox. Happy spring.
Happy equinox. We'll have to celebrate tonight, Billy.
Well, it's the vernal equinox, and I'll say that as a shout out to our friend of the show, Vern. It's your day, Vern.
Well done. We always appreciate it, Vern.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else out there, we would like to get some more comments, subscribers, and some pushback if you have it. Otherwise, we don't know that you're listening.
Yeah.
All right. Gino, you're up.
Questions, comments, statements, send them our way.
Lois, my mom is listening, and after I had that podcast on Tuesday where I gave all her commentary, she listened to it and texted me back in the middle of the night and said, "I never said stop cussing. I said stop using the F word so much. It loses its value when you say fuck too much." So
that is true.
It's been amended. But anyway, that's not even my happy ending that my mom listens. My happy ending is I got home yesterday from that weird 4-day experience trying to get to Nashville for spring break and hang with my bro. And I hadn't seen my wife in 10 days. And you guys know I've been taking a weed break. And I came home to 4 freshly rolled joints. And she looked at me like, there's no way you're not fucking, I'm not taking that no smoke attitude. Smoke right now. So she literally made me smoke because she will not let me live in a house where I am not on THC because I guess it pacifies me or some shit. I don't know.
Sure. I can see
but
that.
Anyway, that didn't stop her from having hate in her heart. 10:02 a.m. today. She was putting beans in the coffee grinder in a sort of remedial way, and I mentioned it, and she had hate in her heart instantly. And then at 1:32, my daughter had hate in her heart too because she's home from Columbia on spring break. Because I mentioned something to her how she was making a salad. So I've had a double whammy of females hating their heart today. I'm back, baby. And I'm back on the weed. What strains am I smoking today, Producer Mel?
Girl Crush and Jungle Fuel.
Girl Crush and Jungle Fuel are the 2 strains I'm on today. I don't know if you guys noticed if I seemed more high or happy or whatever.
I haven't even seen any smoke coming out of you. How am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
I told you guys I was ready to fucking Tracy Morgan all over this podcast. I did not feel
sometimes
good today,
that helps with nausea.
I know.
Well, I did it all beforehand, and I've slowly started to feel better through the podcast.
Oh, good.
Legit. Because I had the meat sweats, and I was going to hurl like 10 minutes before we started.
Meeting.
And I smoked a bunch of weed, and I feel okay now. So I'm back. I'm back on it. I did not get that tolerance reboot that people say they get after 48 hours, and it was longer than that for me. I think I'm going to have to take way more time off than that, but that would require sending my wife on a 30 cruise somewhere because she will not allow it.
We did 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true, but she was out of town the whole time.
2 weeks.
So, yeah, she was out of town the whole time. She was in Albuquerque. So.
Well, it's good for your lungs nonetheless.
I feel pretty good.
A little break.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I really want to quit drinking. I'm just all boozed out, man. I don't know what it is about the wintertime. I think I just drink a little more in the wintertime, and I just booze out.
Really good.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, the plan is to be back on Saturday. Is that going to work?
If you give me a fun topic, or fuck you, I'm not coming on.
Yeah, we'll do a little something lighter on Saturday, of course.
Yeah.
But I'll do my best.
All right. Well, let's come up with something. Let's spitball it tomorrow and come up with some ideas. Because I don't know, movies, music, something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
You know, we have a great past.
I'll be here.
We have stories. We have lots and lots of stories.
We have a lot of stories.
Maybe
some we can even share.
Yeah, some we can even share. So there you go.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that.
All right. Let's do it.
Saturday.
All right. It's your show, Rob. Figure this shit out. God damn it.
Hey,
all I do is smoke weed.
I'm not a man.
All I do is smoke weed and make commentary.
You're still unmanly, Billy. Where's my straw?
This is my therapy. I enjoy it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything. And
oh man, you too.
Let's go to Nashville sometime.
We don't have a show with that
because I don't want to drive through Kentucky.
Yeah. All right, let's do that. We should.
It's a deal.
All right, man.
We should go.
I'll see you guys there.
All right, buddy.
All right.
All right.
See you guys. Bye.